Guys, tonight's story out of Minneapolis isn't just about the a tragic shooting, and it's not just about the immigration enforcement, but it's about something much deeper and far more dangerous for the country. So, guys, what happens when activism, law enforcement, and politics collide in the middle of a residential street? On January 7, 2026, Rene Nicole Good, a 37-year-old US citizen and outspoken anti-IC activist, was shot and killed during an immigration enforcement. The shooting happened fast, it was caught on video, and it has already hardened the country into two camps that are no longer even speaking the same language. According to a video and law enforcement accounts, federal agents were conducting an IC operation when community activists began using whistles to alert the neighbors, a tactic that has become increasingly common in the century style resistance networks. Now, Rene Good and her wife, Becca, were in an SUV that stopped sideways across the street, perpendicular to the traffic directly in the path of an IC agent. In the footage, Becca can be heard yelling, "Drive, baby, drive," moments before the SUV accelerates towards the agent. Now, supporters of law enforcement say this is the end of the story because, under US law, using a vehicle as a weapon is deadly force, and officers are trained that hesitation can be fatal. From that view, the shooting was self defense, tragic but legally justified. Now, critics argue something very different. They say the wheels appear to turn away, that the movement wasn't aggressive, and that deadly force was unnecessary, and that disagreement alone would already make this a national controversy. But what turned this into a political earthquake is what happened next. The Department of Justice, now under Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, opened an investigation not into the agent but into Becca Good, the surviving spouse. Now, the DOJ is examining whether activists that day crossed from the protest into federal crimes like obstruction, intimidation of officers, or the conspiracy under Title 18, Section 111. Investigators are also looking all ties to far left activist groups like Minnesota IC Watch, groups that critics say blur the line between lawful protest and coordinated interference with federal operations. That move detonated Washington, and within days, at least six federal prosecutors in Minnesota resigned in protest, including senior career prosecutor Joseph Thompson. Their claim is that the DOJ is publicly politicizing justice by protecting an agent while aggressively pursuing activists, and that there has been no serious willingness to examine the shooting as a potential civil right violation. Now, Deputy AG Blank flatly rejected that accusation, stating there is no bias for a criminal civil rights probe into the agent action, and emphasizing the administration's priority of protecting law enforcement officers in the field. And this is where the deeper issue emerges. Now, because this case isn't only about whether a shooting was justified, it's about whether the federal government can still enforce immigration law at all when organized civilian resistance deliberately places bodies, vehicles, and kiosks between the agents and their targets. Now, Becca Good's statement captures the moral divide perfectly. We had whistles, they had guns. To her supporters, that line symbolizes oppression. To law enforcement, it sounds like a justification for escalation. The uncomfortable reality is that whistles can coordinate crowds, crowds can block operations, and vehicles can become the weapons. And once that line is crossed, outcomes turn irreversible in seconds. The FBI is still conducting its own review. No charges have been filed against Becca Good as of 13 January, and protests have spread nationwide. But the real consequences may not come from a courtroom, it may come from the signals that sin sends going forward. If activists believe interference will be excused as protest, enforcement becomes impossible. And if agents believe every hesitation could cost their lives, the threshold for force drops. So that is a recipe for more deaths, not fewer. This is not a left versus right story as much as it is a warning about a system under stress. So when the rule of law becomes negotiable on the street, when prosecutors resign over politics, and when tragedy instantly becomes tribal, the center does not hold. However, this investigation ends, the country is being forced to confront a hard truth. Immigration enforcement, activism, and public safety are now colliding in real time, and the margin for error is disappearing. And once that margin is gone, no slogan, no whistle, and no badge can bring it back. So, guys, thank you so much for joining in today and being with me till the end. This was the major update today. If you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel if you like this breakdown. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.